Hello, dear students of class 9. Very pleasant good morning to you all. And once again, hearty welcome to our English literature class. Dear students, today we will be learning from the poetry, poem number 4, that is After Blenheim, poem written by Robert Southey. This is the poem we are going to learn. In your textbook, you will find on page number 16, you will find some introduction about the author, the poet Robert Southey. Let us understand who this author was. Robert Southey was an English romantic poet. When we speak about romantic poet, don't think that it is something related to romance, the romance, love affair. No, that is not the thing. But romantic movement or romantic poet or romanticism, it means it is an intellectual movement giving importance to emotions, freedom, individual imagination, feelings, and so on. Thus, there is nothing to do with romance that we find in the movie or in and around us. It's a different type of movement where giving much attention and focus to individual freedom and emotions. It originated in England in the 18th century. Thus, please be clear about the concept romanticism and romantic poet. Thus, Robert Southey gave much importance to the emotions and imaginations of individuals. So, that is what we have to understand. He was the poet laureate. Poet laureate means a court poet of his time. He wrote this poem in 1796 about the battle that took place in Blenheim, a village in southern Germany in 1704. He wrote this poem in 1976, but about this war which took place, that was in 1704. It is an anti-war poem. Anti-war poem means a poem which hates, which is against the idea of contesting war. Poem that sharply criticized the destruction and death caused by war. The poet uses the simple narrative of a grandfather explaining to his two grandchildren his own suffering and the suffering of many others like him who were victims of the battle. The grandfather cannot give any good reason for war and can only repeat that it was a famous victory. Grandfather is telling to his grandchildren why this war was held or what all the things happened. Those things he is not able to say, or what was the reason for this particular war. Grandfather is not able to say that. But what he says it was a famous victory. It was a famous victory. That was the propaganda. The message spread everywhere to the common people. Obviously, this was the propaganda that was indoctrinated in the common people, taught to the common people. This was told, yes, for a good thing we are doing this war. That was a thing. The poet wants to emphasize through the repetition of the lines that words are senseless, futile, and evil, and that in war there are no real winners. Nobody wins in a war, only death, casualties, destructions. That is what the war brings. Thus, the poet is focusing on the idea of the uselessness or futility of war. This is a powerful poem that echoes Wilfred Owen's famous quote, "The pity of war." The poem is a wake up call to seek peaceful solutions to all conflicts. Peaceful solutions. In modern world, each country possesses highly powerful weapons, and within no time any country can be destroyed. But what they are going to gain? Nobody is going to gain anything except destruction, death, casualties. Thus, peaceful solutions must be sought before entering to war and conflict. Yes. Let us move to the poem number 17. Point number 4 on page number 17. After Blenheim, Robert Southey. Dear students, I will read the total poem one time for you, then paragraph of stanzas after stanzas I will explain to you. It was a summer evening. Old Casper's work was done, and he before his cottage door was sitting in the sun, and by him spotted on the green his little grandchild Wilhelmine. She saw her brother Peterkin roll something large and round, which he beside the revolt in playing there he found. He came to ask what he had found that was so large and smooth and round. Old Casper took it from the boy, who stood expectant by. And then the old man shook his head, and with a natural sigh, "It's some poor fellow's skull," said he, "who fell in the great victory. I find them in the garden, for there is many hereabout, and often when I go to plough, the ploughshare turns them out. For many thousand men," said he, "were slain in that great victory. Now tell us what it was all about, young Peterkin," he cries, and little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes. "Now tell us all about the war and what they fought each other for." "It was the English," Casper cried, "who put the French to rout. But what they fought each other for, I could not well make out. But everybody said," quoth he, "that it was a famous victory. My father lived at Blenheim then, yon little stream hard by. They burned his dwelling to the ground, and he was forced to fly. So with his wife and child he fled, nor had he where to rest his head. With fire and sword the country round was wasted far and wide, and many a childing mother then and newborn baby died. But things like that, you know, must be at every famous victory. They say it was a shocking sight after the field was won, for many thousand bodies here lay rotting in the sun. But things like that, you know, must be after a famous victory. Great praise the Duke of Marlborough won, and our good Prince Eugene. Why, it was a very wicked thing, said little Wilhelmine. Nay, nay, my little girl, quoth he, it was a famous victory. And everybody praised the Duke who this great fight did win. But what good came of it at last, quoth little Peterkin. Why, that I cannot tell, said he, but 'twas a famous victory. Now, As it is a narration, it is very simple to understand. Now, dear students, without wasting much time, let us focus our attention to each stanza. Please turn back the page again on page number 17. Let us move to stanza by stanza and begin with stanza number 1. It was a summer evening. Old Casper's work was done. Here in this narrative story, old Casper is the grandfather and his two children, Wilhelmine the girl and Peterkin the boy. They were. So as old Casper was taking rest in the evening, sitting in front of his house, nearby his granddaughter Wilhelmine was playing. It was a summer evening. Old Casper's work was done. Old Casper had completed the work of the day, and he before his cottage means the house door, was sitting in the sun. And by him sported means played on the green means on the green grass, on the lawn, his little grandchild Wilhelmine. Thus, as Casper was sitting in front of his cottage, enjoying the sun, his granddaughter Wilhelmine was playing nearby him in his lawn. Wilhelmine saw her brother Peterkin roll something large and round. She saw her brother Peterkin rolling something big and large, which he beside the revolt. Revolt means small stream or brook, which he beside the revolt in playing there he found. While he was playing near the stream, he found something big and large. He came to ask what he had found. He is coming. He is bringing that round thing, bringing with that round item to ask what it was. That was so large and smooth and round. He is coming and asking, what is this thing? Old Casper took it from the boy. Immediately, old Casper, the grandfather, took it from the boy, who stood expectant by. Expectant by means expecting an answer. Peterkin was expecting to know what this object was. And then the old man shook his head and with a natural sigh. Natural sigh means the deep sigh. Fi ahad bharna. Yes. Oh my God, this is a natural sigh. Is some poor fellow's skull, he said. Yes, this is the skull of a poor fellow, said he, who fell in the great war, in the victory. Who fell in the great victory means who died in the great victory of this war. I find them in the garden, for there is many hereabout. He said, I find many of them in the garden, many hereabout. And often when I go to plow, whenever I go to plow the field, the plowshare turns them out. Plowshare means the blade of the plow. Hull, yes. Nagar Jotna, see the farmers use that plow, isn't it? Yes. When the plow is used, it overturns the soil. Yes. Thus our Casper says that, and often when I go to plow, the plowshare turns them out. For many thousand men, said he, were slain in that great victory, because many thousand people were killed in that great victory. Slain means to kill. S-L-A-I-N, slain means to kill. Now tell us what it was all about. Young Peterkin, he cried, he sighed, he said, tell us for what purpose they did this war. Now tell us what it was all about. Young Peterkin, he cries, now tell us what happened. And little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes, and Wilhelmine looked at her grandfather for an answer. to know more about this war. And little Wilhelmine looks up with wonder-waiting eyes. Wonder-waiting eyes means surprise eyes, eagerly wait to know something. Now tell us all about the war. Now please tell us about the war and what they fought each other for. Please tell us. Thus our grandchildren, Wilhelmine and Peterkin, they are asking their grandfather Caspar to tell all about the war and what happened in the war. Now he says, "It was the English," Caspar cried. English means English force, "who put the French to rout." Rout means completely defeated. It was the English force which defeated our French force. But what they fought each other for? But why they fought each other? Why English force and French force fought each other for? I could not well make it out. I don't know why these forces have fought each other. But everybody said, quoth he. Quoth means quote, said. He said that it was a famous victory. It was a famous victory. I do not, Caspar plainly saying, I do not know, my children, why this war was fought, but I can say only this much. It was a famous victory. My father lived at Blenheim then. At that time, my father lived near Baviera. Yes, my father lived at Blenheim then. Yon little stream hard by, yonder, there, beyond that stream nearby. Yon little stream hard by. Hard by means nearby. Nearby the stream, my father used to live there. They burned his dwelling to the ground. They burned down his house to the ground. And he was forced to fly. Fly means run away. So with his wife and child he fled. So with his wife, Caspar's father, with his wife and child, ran away from there. Nor had he where to rest his head. There was no place for him to rest his head. With fire and sword, the country round was wasted far and wide. With fire and sword, burning, sword, killing, the entire area was round. Country round was wasted far and wide, very far away places. And many a childing mother means pregnant women, and many a childing mother then, a newborn baby died. Many pregnant ladies and babies were killed. But things like that, must be at every famous victory. But things like that, death, killing, destruction, all those things must happen in a famous victory like that. They say it was a shocking sight. People say it was a shocking sight after the field was won, after the war was over, after the English force defeated the French force. They say it was a shocking sight in the field. For many thousand bodies here lay rotting in the sun, because thousands of bodies were rotting, decaying in the sun. But things like that, must be after a famous victory. But things like that must happen after a famous victory. Great praise the Duke of Marlborough won. Who is this Marlborough? He was the English general commander of the English force. English general commander. Yes. Duke of Marlborough won, and our good Prince Eugene, Austria's general, born in France, defeated French force at Blenheim War. So, allied force of Duke of Marlborough and Prince of Eugene, Austrian prince, they joined together and fought against France. Great praise the Duke of Marlborough won, and our good Prince Eugene. Now the children is asking, why it was a very wicked thing. Yes, it was a very wicked thing. A very bad thing, said little Wilhelmine. Little child told, no, it was a very bad thing. Nay, nay, my little girl. No, nay, nay means no, no. My little girl, quoth he, said he, it was a famous victory. And everybody praised the Duke of Marlborough. Everybody praised the Duke of Marlborough. Who this great fight did win? Who won this defeat? Who won this battle? Duke of Marlborough won this great battle against France. But what good came of it at last? What good came of it at last? Finally, what was the result? Quoth little Peterkin. Why that I cannot tell, said he. No, I cannot say. What result, what good result came after this war? I cannot tell that one. But it was a famous victory. Yes. Dear students, that is the simple explanation of the poem stanza after stanza. Please note one more thing I just forgot to tell at the very beginning itself. See, Blenheim War, that refers to the battle of that hosted in Bavaria, 1704, in which Duke of Marlborough and Prince Eugene defeated French and Bavarians under Marshal Tedard. So it was a war. So it was a, this poem is referring to the 1704 battle between France and England force, in which France was defeated, totally defeated by the English force allied with Austria. Yes, dear students, explanation of this poem is over. Tomorrow in our class, I will be dictating the extract answers of one or two questions. Rest you will have to do by yourself. Hope the poem is clear for you. I will be uploading the total summary, all those things in the video. Alright. Now for the time being, we stop here and we resume our class in the things. Thus, let me wind up once again by concluding this poem. In the very beginning of this poem, we have learned the introduction about Robert Southey, the poet. And we also have understood what is a romantic poetry, who is a romantic poet, and so on. And please understand, romanticism is not anything that is related to the romance that we find in a movie or in and around us. Here, the poet is focusing his main attention again on the futility or uselessness of war. Though people engage in war conflict, saying that there is benefit to establish peace, we enter in war. No, that is a wrong thing. It is a pity of war. Death kills, destroys, destruction. That is what happens. So it is an anti-war poem, a poem which says against, say no to war. That is what we have. Then the explanation of the poem, that is what we have learned. Dear students, please go through the video class one time and try to understand, and after that any clarifications, any part you find it difficult to understand, please get in touch with me and I will help you. Alright, until then, take care. See you tomorrow. Thank you.